Excellences, Monsieur les
Excellencies, heads of state and government, Mr. Secretary General of the United Nations, Madam Secretary General of the United Conference for Trade and Development, Mr. Federal Councillor of the Swiss Confederation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I find myself here in Geneva within the Palais of the United Nations to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the United Nations Conference for Trade and Development. I would like to congratulate Ms. Rebecca Greenspan, UNCTAD Secretary General, for convening and holding this high-level forum to bring forward the perspective of small island developing states such as Madagascar during this event testifies to the necessary commitment to sustainable development through trade and investment. The topic of this forum, a new pathway for a changing world, testifies to the challenges that countries are finding themselves facing in a constantly evolving world. Over the past decades, the commitment of UNCTAD towards a fairer world has continuously been strengthened and has adapted to major global changes. Technical assistance, which has always been provided by UNCTAD, its well-founded recommendations and its advocacy for developing countries are of immense value. We find ourselves in a country that is in upheaval, and all countries have had to review their development strategies to take into account the acceleration of the world and the automation in the world of technologies. The disasters have had a devastating impact on the global economy. The pandemic, climate change, and the recent wars and conflicts have given rise to social instability, in particular for the most vulnerable countries, which have faced the consequences of crisis which they did not participate in creating. For example, the rise in the fuel prices at a global level has had an impact on inflation rates, which in turn has directly led to a rise in the cost of energy production and has led to a rise in transport costs as well as the prices of commodities. And this has had an effect on economic growth and purchasing power of the population. I would like to represent the voice of all the countries that are less advanced, who have been the victims of the violent effects of the international crises, which are interdependent. Our duty as leaders is to transform every problem into an opportunity, and it is thus that thanks to technology, innovative solutions are made possible to transform our economies. Electronic trade, for example, is an opportunity for new markets for states. Technological revolutions have indeed allowed us to remove barriers and borders between countries. To face the challenges, we need international cooperation which is strengthened in order to build a future in which every nation, every community, and every individual can flourish in a fair environment. Ladies and gentlemen, given this context, Madagascar has equipped itself with appropriate strategy in order to attain emergence in terms of growth and development. During my first term, we strengthened the presence of the state. That is to say, throughout our country, we built basic infrastructures close to the communities which needed them. 4,183 new classrooms were built, and allowed us to enroll 200,000 additional students. Moreover, over 123 basic health centers were built in order to bring healthcare closer to the communities. And moreover, in just 5 years, we built 30 hospitals, 30 new university hospitals, when there were only 21 in the country for millions of our population until recently. During this term, we will continue to follow up on this progress and reinforce it. Our policy rests on 3 major pillars, that is to say, the development of human capital, economic transformation through industrialization, and good governance. These 3 pillars aim to reduce poverty and improve the purchasing power of the population. Job creation, it is the center of our concerns, as every citizen should be able to be useful to the development of their own household, their economy, and their country. We have established a plan which provides for fair access to economic opportunities. We have encouraged entrepreneurship to support small and medium-sized enterprises through a very broad national program called One District, One Factory. This has allowed us to establish 57 industrial units, which are distributed over the 119 districts of our cities. There's food production, the production of noodles, tomato paste, flour, dried grains, and there are coffee factories, vegetable oil extraction, and sugar production. The aim of this program is to provide added value and create jobs, but especially to give producers access to innovative industries and industrial processing facilities. Strengthening our exports is one of our aims, and this allows us to balance out our trade balance. Thus, the export of our commodities such as lychees and vanilla, as well as others, provide us with currency income which stabilizes our currency. It is crucial also to state that vanilla, which is a strategic commodity for Madagascar, which is known for its flavor, its high content in vanillin, is a product that is exported primarily by Madagascar. We are the leading exporter. The vanilla of Madagascar gives rise to income to all the players within the industry, from the plantations to the export of processed goods. For this year, we are planning to build our first gold refinery, which will allow us to export gold throughout the world legally and in a controlled fashion. Madagascar, as you know, is a country with a wealth of abundant resources. Our country is the 3rd exporter of nickel in Africa, and our cobalt, vanadium, gold oxide, and graphite resources are estimated at several million tons. We need a business climate, and in order to achieve this, we have adopted a new law on investment and a reform of the mining code, and this will allow us to support and facilitate investments. And in this regard, 3 major mining projects will emerge this year. The results have been achieved. In February 2024, the IMF report had projected a mean GDP growth of the African continent of 3.8%. Madagascar, however, is forecasting for this year a growth rate of 4.5%, and this demonstrates the extent of the dynamism of our economy. Our economic policy aims to diversify in order to stimulate growth. We support the industrialization of Madagascar thus and encourage investment in the agricultural sphere, in tourism, industry, and the technological sphere in order to create new opportunities. And it is for this reason that my commitment was recognized, and indeed I was given a prize by UNCTAD as the champion of industrialization in Africa in 2020. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Madagascar fully supports this 60th anniversary of UNCTAD, and we support the pathway that has been traced out for us and appeal to all countries for action in order to join and build a resilient, fair, and sustainable future together. I would like to thank UNCTAD for the various aspects of technical assistance and cooperation that Madagascar has been able to benefit from. This support has allowed my country to take action in terms of promoting trade, investment, and economic development and technological development. I am aware that the discussions which will be held over these 2 days will lead to tangible results, which will allow us to introduce innovative changes to face challenges and accelerate the development that is so long expected by our respective populations. Long life to UNCTAD, long life to international cooperation and solidarity between countries. I thank you for your attention.